Hi, this is Fiona at Digital Landscapes, and we are going to look at an easy way to get shadows into Photoshop. Now, I have to say I'm a very big fan of getting all of my plants in via SketchUp. I use Scatter to do that and the V-Ray rendering engine. There are a number of reasons why I find that easier. One of them is that dealing with bringing in loads of plants and having this amount of layers in Photoshop is a little bit of a nuisance. But sometimes you just can't find the plant that you're looking for in SketchUp, or, maybe you've got the perfect transparent PNG, or, you just want to bring in one tree and it's easier to do it this way. So I have an example tree here, which is an Acer, and I'm just going to click and drag it in. We can't see it because this is at the bottom of the layer stack. So this is in. I am just pressing Command T to resize it, and I am simply going to stick it into my planting bed somewhere. I get the scale fairly right, even though this is an example. So that's that in. Just press Enter to set it. I'll just quickly show you this file. So this is one of the example files from the visuals course. So it's a slightly dreary site photo. It's a real site photo, and then we just build up the layers and put a few adjustments on to try and brighten it up a bit. So we're kind of trying to fake the illusion that it's sunny, and then bringing in a couple of mass planting images, and then some transparent PNGs and other bits and pieces that have all been layered up to create the look that we want. So this tree we are going to bring in as well. Now I want to show you how to get a shadow on this tree. For the rest of these plants here, what I would be using is just a regular brush, and make the size a bit smaller. I'd set it to black. I'd create a new layer, and I'd just put a very soft kind of brushing. I'm assuming that the sun is coming from up here on the top left hand side, and just add a bit of shadow along here, and then you can change the opacity of that layer to make it a bit less full on. But I just want to show you a really useful technique to get more specific shadows from transparent PNGs. So I am going to create a new layer first, and I'm going to put it under there. I'll just rename it Tree Shadow. And I select the Acer layer, and if I hold down the Command key, so I've got my left hand holding down the Command key, and I'm clicking the layer thumbnail, what that does is it selects everything in that layer. Where level came from. So it's just selected that transparent PNG because there's no background in that file. I can then go to my tree shadow layer, get a brush. Let's make it a bit bigger. If you don't know the keyboard shortcut, I'm holding down Control and Option and clicking and sliding my mouse left and right, and that makes the brush size bigger and smaller. Really useful shortcut. Great, so I'll just turn that off so we can see. So I'm in the tree shadow layer, and I'm just going to colour that in black. Now the next thing I need to do is go to Filter, Blur and Gaussian Blur. So this is just going to blur just this layer. I deselected it before I did that, so I still did not have the previous layer or any selection made. So Command A will deselect everything. And as you change this slider, you can see it gets a bit more blurry. That is too blurry. That's probably not blurry enough. So maybe 6, 8. So the number of pixels will depend on your image size. This is not a very big image. It's not very high resolution. So yeah, that will depend on the image that you're using. So I'm going to press OK. Now again, hold down Command and click in that layer. So I've just selected my blurry shadow, what will be my shadow. I am going to go to Edit and Transform and Distort. I can now move these handles, so I could distort it that way, which I don't want to. I just want to click the top middle handle, and I'm just going to move that down like that. And if I put my Acer back on, we can kind of see. So Edit, just do that again. You lose the I've completely lost the button. Edit, Transform and Distort. Get that back just to kind of, yeah, maybe something like that. So where it's going to go over the plants, probably need to fiddle with that a little bit, but we'll assume it's going to come across the path like that. Oh, I just need to make sure that the trunks are lined up, although I am going to delete a bit of this trunk here so that it looks like it's coming out of the planting. So press enter and then Command A just to deselect that. Put the opacity down. So yeah, all of a sudden that's looking pretty good. If I go to my Acer, I could use a layer mask to do this. I could be lazy, which is what I'm going to do. I've got the eraser. It's a soft brush and I'm just going to slightly fiddle around with the base of it there. You know, that looks great. It's quick, it's easy, there's very minimal faff. So the things to remember, you're creating a new layer, you're holding down Command and clicking in the thumbnail on the layers palette. And then that will only select what's in that layer. So then create a new layer, black it out, and then go to Filter, Blur, and Gaussian Blur. And this will work with all kinds of things. You could even bring in shadows from something like SketchUp and apply that Gaussian Blur and bring down the opacity to give them a more naturalistic look. Hope that helps. If you've got any questions, then leave us a comment.